So today we'll be looking at marker interface design pattern. So clonable and serializable interface are both marker interfaces. So any class will implement clonable interface just to indicate that it's perfectly legal to call clone method, which is a method of the object class. This method is defined in the object class, and as you know, object class is the parent of all the classes in Java. So why class will implement clonable interface? So let's say I am writing a class employee, so I will write class employee implements clonable. Why I will write that? I will write that to indicate that it's perfectly legal for a client to call this clone method on my objects. So client can write employee e and then he can write e.clone. So this is perfectly legal. But if you don't implement this clonable interface, then if you write employee e and e.clone, it will throw clone not supported or some kind of exception it will throw. So you are marking, this is just used as a marker. You are just marking that employee class by this clonable interface. So this clonable interface doesn't has any kind of methods or anything. It's just a marker interface. So it's empty. If you open the clonable interface in the Java library, it's completely empty. It just indicates that one who implement clonable interface on his objects, clone can be called. So if employee implements clonable interface, we can write employee e.clone. Okay, I think you got the point here. Similarly for serializable, so for a class's objects to be serializable, the class must implement this serializable interface. So a class implements serializable interface to indicate that it's legal to serialize its objects. What is means by serializing the objects? Serializing means encoding those objects and storing it in a xyz.ser file. So if you want to transfer an object from one place to another, let's say from one computer to another, so then you can write that object to this xyz.ser file and mail it to your friend who is using other computer, and he can download this ser file and read this ser file to decode that object. So this ser file basically represents an object. So objects can be compressed and we can put that all the information, its attributes, its method, all those things in this ser file. So ser basically indicates serializable. So this serialized info is written in this file. So internal implementation of how this, only those classes which implement serializable are allowed to be written in such files. So to write an object in a xyz.ser file, you use this object output stream, just like you use file output stream or to write to a file. You use object output stream to write an object to a file. Okay, cool. So basically this object output stream will check, if you open this object output stream's source code, I think it's directly available in the java.lang package, so you can just check it. So something like this is written there. If O instance of serializable, so whatever object you are trying to write, you will pass that object in this write object method, write object O. So this write object method if we open its body, it will first check this thing. If that object is an instance of serializable, then only I will write it to that file, and it will be an instance of serializable by Liskov substitution principle. You can say that it's an instance of serializable only when it's either of the serializable interface type or it's any of its child. So basically it must implement this serializable interface. Okay, so then only we write that, we serialize that object and write it to a file. Otherwise we just throw not serializable exception. So earlier these interfaces were used like this. So we implement serializable interface, and whichever class is serializing the object and writing it to a file, it will just check whether our object is implementing this serializable interface. If it's so, by checking this thing, it will know whether it's legal to serialize it or not. If my class is not implementing serializable, that means it is not legal to serialize my class's objects. But so this is like a pass for my class to get serialized. Okay, so I hope you understand this. So this is like a marker or a tag. This implementing serializable acts as a tag to my class. But nowadays Java is equipped with annotations. Annotations means metadata. Metadata means data about data. So if you are writing a class, you need not write implement serializable. You can just write tag it with some tags, and whoever is let's say writing this object output stream, or whoever is performing some operation on that class, it will just read those annotations to get some specific information about your class and act accordingly. So let's say you are tagging your class with @serializable, then you need not you need not implement that serializable interface. So this @serializable, so whenever this object output stream is writing that object, it will check whether this annotation is present on my class. If it is present, I will write it to a file. If it is not present, this annotation is not present, I will not write that object to file. I will instead throw this exception, not serializable exception. So these kinds of facility are there. I am sure this @serializable is available in Scala, but I don't know whether this is available in Java or not. I don't think this is still available in Java. So we use that implement serializable still. But since after introduction of annotations in Java, this whole pattern, which is the marker interface pattern, so using interfaces for marking certain classes, so that whoever is acting on those classes can check whether it is implementing that interface. If it's implementing, then it is legal for me to perform this task. If it is not implementing that interface, so it has not been marked with that interface, I can't do this operation. If it is marked with serializable interface, I can do this operation. If it is not marked with serializable interface, I cannot do this operation. So these kinds of things were there. But in Java now, serializable, so these annotations have come in Java, its latest versions. So instead of implementing these, writing that implement interface, we can just annotate our class. So we can what we call tippani in Hindi. So it's like a note in front of the class or a method, anything. So we can annotate it. So this seems to be a legacy design pattern for Java, but still very useful. Like we are still using the serializable thing, and it's still, this pattern is still very useful for those languages which do not support annotations. So this is the thing to look for. I hope it was not that confusing and you understood this thing. Thank you, friends.